Dr. Arnott, who's one of the many scientists who've joined up with Extinction Rebellion, said, "The science is in. Fossil fuel use is killing our life support systems, but none of the people in power are taking climate breakdown seriously." And she's absolutely not wrong. Despite the shocking, sobering, anxiety-inducing facts that we're seeing happening before our very eyes, Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg recently stated that in order to get into power, what works is getting rid of unpopular, expensive green policies. But I'll tell you a green policy that is very, very popular, and that is investment in our rail services. But while Sunak said yesterday that he doesn't want to give people more hassle with net zero policies, he's very comfortable in giving us more hassle by taking away our ticket offices. And aside from walking and cycling, rail travel is the greenest travel available to us. Using a train rather than a domestic flight cuts your emissions by 84%. Which is why the French government, who are way ahead of us, have banned domestic flights and are urging everyone to use trains instead. It's also massively better than travelling by car, both in terms of reducing the emissions that contribute to climate change, but also in terms of reducing the emissions which pollute our air. And don't forget that in the UK, we experience in a year 40,000 premature deaths attributable to air pollution. So it's baffling that action by our government to invest in our health and our future by investing in rail is just not happening. And it's not happening for one very simple reason. It's not being run as a service for the people. And that is also why they are willing to cut the ticket offices to make a bit of cash. What we need instead right now, with the topical issue of climate change, is to enable more people to travel by train, to enable new customers to get the best advice and the best deals, which is what our ticket offices provide. We also need to facilitate rail travel for everybody without closing things up to people who are partially sighted, or those overwhelmed by technology, or those who just need a compassionate human being instead of a machine. What we also need right now is for our railways to become more climate resilient. Network Rail themselves have recognised that climate change is having, in their words, an undeniable impact on infrastructure, and that means more delays for passengers. And when there are more delays, our ticket office staff are here in all weathers, in floods, in storms and heat waves, to guide us safely home. If rail travel were allowed to be the service it should be, then it would meet the needs of passengers with a friendly face and individualised help every single day at every single station. And if a rail travel was allowed to be the service it should be, then it would be inclusive to all. And if our government were working in service to the people of this country, then it would not fail to recognise the existential threat of climate change and how a thriving, supported rail network can work in service to reducing our emissions. It would not be trailing the rest of Europe, but pulling out all the stops and opening up ticket offices, not closing them down. We need our ticket offices to provide an environmentally friendly, people-friendly and fully inclusive transport system which helps us to get what we need without it costing the planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Hazel. That was brilliant. Really interesting stuff.